Beloved child of God, incline your ear and listen, for the sound that is echoing from the throne of heaven is not the sound of delay, nor the silence of unanswered prayers, it is the trumpet of provision. It has been lifted high, and its blast is now rolling across the heavens, announcing a divine decree. It is time. Provision is near. For too long, you have stood at the edge of breakthrough wondering if heaven even noticed your need. You have stared at empty accounts, calculated impossible numbers, and questioned how you could possibly continue. Yet in every sleepless night and every whispered prayer, heaven was not indifferent. Heaven was preparing. And now, the waiting season is drawing to a close. The trumpet has sounded because the books have been opened. The Lord has examined your faithfulness, your stewardship, your unwavering trust in Him when nothing made sense. He has seen your tears sown into the soil of obedience, your sacrifices made quietly and without applause, your giving when you yourself had little to give. And He has declared, now is the time for harvest. This is not ordinary provision. This is covenant provision. It is not the result of human striving, but the fulfillment of divine promise. It will not be delivered by the strength of your hands but by the outstretched hand of God, who calls forth streams in the desert and bread from the heavens. Even now, angels are being dispatched as messengers of supply. They carry assignments with your name written upon them, divine instructions to those chosen to bless you. Some of these people do not even know yet why they feel compelled to help you. Others have been prepared for years, their resources reserved for the very moment heaven would say, release it now. And that moment has arrived. Hear the Lord say, I am not limited by economy, by circumstance, or by timing. I am the God who fed my prophet with ravens and multiplied oil in a widow's jar. I am the God who filled nets with fish after a night of nothing and paid taxes from the mouth of a fish. I am the God who provides from unexpected places, and I will do it again for you. Do not let doubt cloud this moment. Do not allow fear to convince you that this is too good to be true. The trumpet is not blown for wishes, it is blown for fulfilled promises. You are stepping into a chapter where provision will chase you down. Support will arise without you striving to find it. The weight you have carried will begin to lift, and joy, real, deep, overflowing joy, will replace anxiety. But this trumpet blast is also a call to readiness. Provision is not just coming to you, it is coming through you. God is not blessing you for comfort alone, but for assignment. He is supplying resources because there is kingdom work for you to accomplish, dreams to bring to life, people to bless, and legacies to build. This is why the waiting was necessary, so that when the blessing arrives, you would know how to carry it. Beloved, smile again. Lift your head again. The heavens have moved on your behalf. Your story is shifting from not enough to more than enough. Your testimony will no longer be about survival. It will be about abundance. The trumpet of provision has sounded. The decree has been issued. And soon, very soon, you will stand in awe as the resources of heaven meet the realities of earth in your life. This is not the end of your struggle, it is the beginning of your supply. And it is closer than you think. Prepare to see the goodness of the Lord in a way you have never known before. For truly, provision is near. Beloved, now that the trumpet of provision has been sounded, you must understand the next part of heaven's plan. Provision rarely falls from the sky in coins or banknotes, it is almost always delivered through a person. That is why heaven is now speaking to you about the one who is being sent to support you. This person is not random. They are not accidental. They are a vessel chosen, prepared, and positioned for such a time as this. For many seasons, God has been working behind the scenes in the life of this person. They have been stirred without understanding why. They have felt compelled to save, to hold back, to look for opportunities to sow, not knowing that the seed was being reserved for you. Heaven has whispered their assignment into their spirit, even when they did not yet know your name. They have been trained to walk in obedience, softened to generosity, and positioned in places of access and influence. Why? Because they are part of God's plan for your story. Do not be surprised if this person appears unexpectedly. Do not be alarmed if their arrival feels sudden. The timing may seem unusual, but heaven's timing is always perfect. God sends people in moments of divine alignment, when your faith, your preparation, and your season intersect with their obedience. It is not coincidence, it is kingdom orchestration. The one sent to support you might not look like what you imagined. They might not wear the labels of wealth or influence you expected. Sometimes, the vessel God uses is wrapped in simplicity to test your discernment. But whether they come as a mentor, a partner, an investor, or a friend, their presence will carry evidence of divine assignment. How will you know? Because their actions will answer prayers you never spoke aloud. Their timing will be too precise to explain away. Their words will confirm what heaven has already whispered to your heart. The Lord says, "I have seen your labor and I have heard your cry. Now I send someone to lift the weight from your shoulders, to accelerate your calling, and to fund what I have placed inside you." This is not charity, it is kingdom partnership. Heaven funds its missions, and you are on heaven's mission. But understand this, your response matters. If the one God sends meets hesitation, pride, or fear, the blessing can be delayed. This is why humility and discernment are critical now. Do not reject the hand that God uses simply because it does not come in the package you were expecting. Remember Elijah and the widow. She was preparing her last meal, and yet God had chosen her as the vessel to sustain his prophet. In her obedience, both their needs were met. The one being sent is also stepping out in faith. They may face resistance, confusion, or even doubt about why they are drawn to help you. But their obedience will unlock their own blessing just as much as yours. This is why your prayers must now shift, not just asking for provision, but interceding for the one assigned to bring it. Pray that they will hear clearly. Pray that they will act quickly. Pray that they will not miss their moment of destiny. And as you wait, prepare your heart and your environment. Get your plans in order. Clarify your vision. Know what you will do with the resources once they come. Heaven does not send supply where there is no stewardship. The clearer your mission, the more swiftly provision will flow. Beloved, the one sent to support you is closer than you think. They may already be watching you from a distance. They may already be praying about you without realizing why. They may already have your name written on their heart. And soon, they will step out of the shadows and into your story, not by accident, but by divine appointment. This partnership will not be temporary. It will mark a turning point in your journey. The doors they help open will remain open. The resources they release will multiply beyond the initial gift. And together, your obedience and theirs will create a ripple that impacts far more lives than your own. Smile, beloved. Heaven has not forgotten you. Even now, the one chosen to stand beside you is preparing to step forward. And when they do, you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is the fulfillment of God's promise. This is the hand of heaven stretched out toward you. Lift your eyes with expectation. The assignment is in motion. The support is on the way. And soon, you will not only witness provision, you will walk in partnership with the very person heaven chose before the foundations of the world to help you accomplish everything God placed inside you. Beloved, listen closely, for what I am about to reveal is not just about receiving, it is about understanding how heaven moves. Many pray for provision but miss the breakthrough because they do not recognize the path it travels on. Financial release is rarely loud or obvious. It often flows through hidden channels, disguised as opportunities, relationships, and small steps of obedience. God's ways are higher than ours. When He intends to bring supply, He does not simply drop it into our hands, He builds a pathway for it to arrive. That pathway is woven into the fabric of obedience, faith, and alignment. If you trace every miracle of provision in Scripture, you will find a common thread. God asked for a step before He released the supply. When the widow of Zarephath was about to eat her last meal, Elijah told her, "Make a small cake for me first." It seemed unreasonable, yet her obedience created the flow. When Peter needed a financial miracle, Jesus instructed him to cast his net into the water again. The catch didn't happen until he acted. When the 5,000 needed food, Jesus told the disciples to bring the little they had. Once it was surrendered, multiplication followed. This is the pattern. Obedience builds the road on which provision travels. Heaven is not testing your worthiness, it is training your readiness. It is not withholding blessing, it is shaping your capacity to handle it. The reason some financial breakthroughs seem delayed is not because God said no, but because the pathway is incomplete. There are 3 hidden steps in this pathway. 1. The step of trust. God will often instruct you to move forward before the provision arrives. You may be prompted to start a project, sow a seed, apply for something, or make a bold decision. This is not reckless, it is prophetic. Heaven responds to faith that walks, not faith that waits passively. 2. The step of surrender. God may ask you to release what feels too small to matter or too precious to let go. This is because provision multiplies what is released, not what is withheld. The boy's lunch could not feed the crowd until it left his hands. In the same way, what you are willing to release becomes the seed for what heaven is about to increase. 3. The step of alignment. Provision often arrives when your heart, habits, and priorities align with God's purpose. If you are praying for financial support but ignoring the purpose behind it, heaven may withhold the release until your intentions are pure and kingdom-focused. God funds His mission, and when your goals reflect His will, the resources flow more freely. Beloved, your breakthrough is not far. It is forming. The unseen pieces are already being placed. God is orchestrating details you cannot see, weaving together people, timing, and opportunities. Some of the delays you faced were not denials. They were divine choreography, ensuring that when the provision arrives, it will not slip through your fingers. You must also understand that provision often begins small. God tests your faithfulness in the little before He entrusts you with much. A small partnership, a minor open door, a seemingly insignificant financial gift. Do not despise these beginnings. They are proof that the flow has started. What begins as a stream will soon become a river. And here is the mystery of God's supply. Once the pathway is built, it often becomes a continuous flow. The miracle is not just that you receive once, it is that you enter a dimension where provision becomes part of your life's rhythm. Doors stay open. Opportunities keep coming. People feel led again and again to pour into you. Because heaven's economy is not about single moments, it's about sustained movement. So lift your faith higher. Pray not only for the blessing, but for the wisdom to see and build the pathway. Ask God, what step are you requiring of me now? Then act on it quickly. The moment your obedience meets His instruction, the invisible becomes visible, and what was stored up begins to flow. Beloved, the pathway is forming even now. Do not fear the unknown. Do not resist the small steps. Walk them faithfully, and soon the financial breakthrough you have been waiting for will no longer be a distant dream, it will be the reality you live in. Beloved, now that you understand the trumpet has sounded, the one sent to support you is on the way, and the hidden pathway of provision is forming, there remains one final and crucial step, your preparation. Heaven does not pour new wine into old wineskins. God's supply does not land on unprepared ground. And if you are going to steward the blessing that is about to enter your life, you must position yourself now, spiritually, mentally, and practically. The first preparation is internal. God is not just sending provision to change your circumstances, He's sending it to elevate your purpose. That means your heart must be ready for what's coming. Take this time to root out any fear, doubt, or false beliefs about abundance. Do not let the enemy whisper that you are undeserving or unworthy. You are not being blessed because you earned it, you are being blessed because you are chosen to carry it. Heaven's generosity is not a reflection of your perfection, it is a reflection of God's intention. Secondly, prepare your vision. Provision without purpose leads to waste. Ask yourself, what has God been calling me to build, launch, support, or accomplish? Write the vision plainly. Define what you will do when the resources arrive. If you believe a financial door is opening for a ministry, start outlining the ministry. If you believe a business is about to be funded, prepare the plan now. If you feel led to give to others, identify where and how. God multiplies what is organized and intentional. Third, position yourself through expectation. Expectation is faith in action. It's how you show heaven that you are ready. Speak life over your finances daily. Declare promises from Scripture. Celebrate as if the support is already on the way, because in the realm of the Spirit, it is. When Elijah heard the sound of rain, he told his servant to look toward the sea again and again. That was expectation. And eventually, the cloud appeared. Next, prepare practically. God blesses what you are prepared to manage. If you're praying for funding for a project, make sure the legal and logistical details are in place. If you're believing for partners or investors, be ready to present your plan. If you're expecting unexpected income, get your accounts, budgets, and stewardship plans in order. The clearer and cleaner your foundation, the more easily God can pour into it. Also, stay obedient. The period before breakthrough is often a final test of alignment. Small instructions may come: forgive someone, sow a seed, shift your schedule, remove a distraction. These may not seem connected to money, but they are. Obedience in one area often unlocks blessing in another. Finally, guard your gratitude. Gratitude prepares the atmosphere for multiplication. Begin thanking God now for what you have and what is coming. Worship is not just a response to blessing, it's a magnet for it. When Jesus multiplied the loaves and fish, he gave thanks before the miracle happened. Gratitude opens the gates for heaven's abundance to flow. Beloved, this is not a distant prophecy, it is a present reality forming even as you read these words. Your preparation will determine how fully you receive and how wisely you steward what's coming. Do not delay. Begin preparing today as if the blessing is already knocking on your door, because in truth, it is. Heaven's supply is not a maybe. It is a divine must. The Father has decreed it. Angels are already on assignment. And when preparation meets provision, overflow is inevitable. Stand ready, beloved. The harvest you've prayed for is closer than you think. And when it arrives, it will not trickle, it will pour. Beloved child of God, pause now and breathe deeply. Heaven is not silent concerning you. The Father has heard every midnight prayer, counted every tear, and weighed every sacrifice. Your cries did not vanish into the void. They ascended like incense before the throne, and they have been answered. The provision you have long awaited is no longer on its way, it is standing at your door. In the unseen realm, a decree has already been signed. Angels have already been dispatched. The name of the one who will hold your hand in this next chapter, the vessel through whom heaven's supply will arrive, has already been spoken in the courts of glory. All that remains is the unveiling, and that unveiling is imminent. This is not a vague promise or distant hope, it is the reality of a God who cannot lie. When he says, "I will supply all your needs according to my riches in glory," he is not speaking poetically, he is revealing a truth that transcends time and circumstance. And that truth is now colliding with your situation. So, lift up your head. Let go of the despair that has tried to make a home in your heart. The drought is over. The wilderness is ending. You are about to step into a chapter where favor meets you unexpectedly, where resources appear from directions you did not anticipate, and where those who once overlooked you now feel compelled to bless you. Smile, because the support you need is not coming with conditions attached. It is coming because heaven has willed it. Smile, because the one assigned to help you will do so with joy, not reluctance. Smile, because this provision is not meant to temporarily sustain you, it is meant to launch you. And as it comes, remember this, it is not just about you. This blessing is a seed meant to grow beyond your hands. You are being entrusted with resources to build, to bless, to heal, to restore, and to advance the kingdom. You are not just a recipient, you are a conduit. So prepare your heart with gratitude. Let praise rise from your lips before the doorbell even rings. Celebrate now, because the waiting season is transforming into a receiving season. And when the provision arrives, whether through a person, an opportunity, a partnership, or a miraculous deposit, do not shrink back. Receive it boldly, knowing this is not charity, it is covenant. The God who called you has also resourced you. The God who began this work is faithful to complete it. And the same God who is sending help now will continue to multiply it, until you are walking not just in sufficiency, but in abundance. So, smile, beloved. The promise is not lost. The time is not past. Provision is knocking, and this time, you will open the door. Heaven has signed the release, and earth will soon bear witness. Your life is about to shift. Your hands are about to hold the answer. And your story will never be the same again. Amen.